What's up, everybody? It's DarkViperAU. Today we've got to have a conversation about DarkViperAU because he has once again released the lolcow gene. It was dormant for a really long time, and now he is back with a vengeance, dropping 3 a.m. essays, responding to dramas that he started because he was not able to say, "My bad, dog." And so here's what happened. This creator, Dark Stunter, posted a screenshot on Twitter about a YouTuber with 2 million subs, DarkViper, stealing their work, uploading it, who made over 1,500 euros from it. When they politely confronted him, he threw a tantrum, blocked him, banned him from his Discord, and edited this angry response, hoping I wouldn't see it. Here's what happened. So, the original screenshots were dropped. It shows the message that Dark sent to DarkViperAU, who we're just going to refer to DarkViper as Matt because they both have Dark in their names. Dark sent this message in March. He didn't say anything about this for months. What it says is, "Hey Matt, you know I've been watching you for a long time. I'm not the most active and I don't show it often, but I really like you and your content. That said, there's one thing that left a sour taste in my mouth. I've been meaning to bring this up for a while, and after seeing your recent yap where you talked about short profits and related stuff, I felt like it was the right time. It's this particular short I want to talk about. I know you originally added a credit in the comments, but that credit is now gone because the comment was edited into a different announcement. The issue I have is that you used gameplay footage without permission. You just took it and ended up making a good amount of ad revenue from it. I want to make it clear that I'm not asking for any money. I'm just genuinely curious why you do something like that, especially since both you and I know what it feels like when someone else isn't being friendly and doesn't credit you properly for your work. Another thing that bothers me is that I actually reached out to you 2 years before you posted this short, offering to provide gameplay footage for gliding if you ever wanted to cover it on your clips channel. You responded to me with a message from March of 2021 saying, "I can't do it, so never. Could have done it years ago had I wanted to, but I can't show myself. I'm not keen. Thanks though. I was genuinely interested in helping you if it was ever something you needed or wanted, but you clearly declined. So I respected that and left it at that." So finding out a couple of years later that you did a complete 180 and uploaded a clip without permission was disappointing. Again, I'm not trying to start any drama. This was just something I really wanted to get off my chest. I do feel bad about this stunt you pulled. Keep up the good content. Now this, I would say, is a pretty well-rounded, constructive, respectful message of somebody who is a fan, if not maybe a colleague of Matt, expressing discontent with some kind of shady bullshit that he pulled on Dark J here. And so Matt decided to have a very rational, reasonable, and respectful conversation with this person who raised a very real concern. Matt says, "I gotta say, this is a strange message. It was 2 years later, man. Oh boy. I answer quite literally hundreds of DMs a week. So to summarize, you put unlisted footage that you never intended to use for any purpose in a Discord somewhere to show a strat. It wasn't public. You were making no money off it. Hell, you were never going to make money off. I creatively edited it years afterwards at great expense of time and presenting it in a way to cause it to succeed. Taking a 9-minute screen recording and making it into a 20-second clip. This you were obviously never going to do, and hell, no one was ever going to do it. Shame. It was a good edit and hook. I guess I will find that clip of Trevor diving out a boat onto a whale that other dude made. Fuck if I want another DM like this. I originally wrote you a very long message. I have removed it and privated the clip. Never contact me again for any reason. Please stop watching my content." So yeah, like I said, very rational, very respectful, and not at all bizarre. There's not really justification for him to be responding in such a defensive, passive-aggressive, dismissive way. It's such a hostile message to send to this guy who was genuinely reaching out in good faith. That doesn't seem to happen very often online, especially in a drama space that Dark Viper tends to involve himself in pretty frequently, but this guy seems pretty sincere in this message. For him to respond this way tells me that this is probably something he's done multiple times and he just got caught for it. And now he's reacting like, what's that thing? Hit dog hollers. That's what he sounds like right now. So this is obviously a really bad response. And I don't blame Dark for posting this and saying what he did about basically, yeah, DarkViperAU profited off of my content. So it's pretty fucked up that this is how Matt's gonna respond to him. But it gets worse because Matt puts out like a full statement today. He did this today. And we're gonna run through it. Hopefully we won't lose too many brain cells while reading it. So Matt's response that he dropped today says, "Oh boy, guys, prepare for a long story I'm typing at 3 a.m. after throwing all this information in this insanely delusional person's DMs whilst calling him a psycho. I am going to be all over the place due to lack of sleep, but I demand a formally written public apology from Dark Stunter and everyone who spammed his bullshit in my replies. I don't care how many times I'm going to call him a psycho, he deserves it." Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there as the formal CEO of the PR firm for YouTube morons. I'm going to say that if you feel the urge to respond to something at 3 in the morning, ignore that urge, because it's not gonna end well. This is a perfect example. 2 weeks ago, I received a psychotic Discord DM from someone named Dark J, aka Dark Stunner. I had no idea who this person was, but it was the most passive-aggressive DM I have ever received. They were claiming I removed a credit I gave them for a stunt clip from a short I posted 3 years ago. This, of course, was untrue. I have a custom tool that changes the pinned comments of all my videos at once to advertise things, in this case my merch store. All 2,400 of them. I naturally was not going to remember a pinned comment from 3 years ago on a random short. It's also the only clip on my entire channel that I didn't record myself, and therefore the only one credited to someone else. Thus, even thinking about credits was not something I would do. I have changed all my pinned comments a dozen times over the last few months with the tool made by my mod Kana. This stranger, however, accused me of targetedly removing the credit in some vendetta against them. It was both insane that they think I would go back 3 years to do this, and insane that they noticed and cared enough to DM me. They were further entirely fine with my usage of this clip and were well aware of it 3 years ago until they wrongly believed they were snubbed by me. I even have a vague memory that they left a positive comment when I posted it, but it is kind of hazy because it was 3 years ago. So we're gonna pause here in the middle. First of all, it didn't come off as passive-aggressive. You came off as passive-aggressive, so we've got the projection within the first 2 paragraphs. I think, sure, that's fair if he's got a tool that changes the pinned comment. That's fine. I mean, it's an honest mistake, right? So you shouldn't have a problem going back and fixing it or adding another comment to clarify, you know? Or because this guy who came to you very genuinely and very kindly pointing out that the credit was removed, why don't you just go back to that clip that he conveniently linked to you to fix that one pinned comment? Ways around this that could have kept this from going literally from a molehill into a mountain, but that's where we are. I can understand him talking about how it was like 3 years old, get over it, but at the same time, like, this matters enough to this guy to bring it up now. If it's really not that big a deal that it was 3 years ago, then why don't you go and fix it? This guy cares and he likes you, so I don't know, if it were me, if it's not that hard to change it, then change it. But on top of that, we have him talking about having a vague memory they left a positive comment when he posted it. So he's claiming he knew about the short, but he didn't care about it then. And we have no proof that this is the case. So the second point he's talking about is that this is being targeted, that it's like a petty vendetta, and it's like, no, that's not what he said at all. All he said was notice that the comment changed and you didn't credit him anymore and you made money off it and he didn't see anything from it. It's really a minor thing, and he didn't come at it sounding particularly passive-aggressive, at least not in my opinion. It's also not that serious. Again, I don't think if you had gone in and said anything other than my bad, dude, this would have been anything other than just a minor gripe. The problem is that Dark Viper responded in the way that he did. So, since we've broken that down a little bit, let's keep rolling. Contrary to their claims, I didn't use their clip, at least not intentionally. I had no idea they made the clip, so how did I get it, you might ask? 3 years ago on the GTA 5 speedrun Discord, someone, not Dark Stunter, posted a comparison video between 2 strats. This was a timed comparison between bike gliding and not gliding on the Pareto score setup. It was in 480p and literally involved overlapping rectangular copies of GTA 5 taking up only half the screen because the person's only goal was to show a comparison for timing purposes. This seemed to be a hastily made 6-minute chunk of footage, and it was unlisted on their channel. Had no association with any Dark Stunter. Why did I make the short? Shorts 3 years ago were nothing. They made no money and were fairly new. I was throwing together shorts for shits and giggles. As a lover of all things speedrunning, I thought, that is a cool thing I saw today on Discord that no one will ever see if I don't post it somewhere. And so I took a portion of the footage and spent a few hours making a very transformational shortened clip. I didn't know who Dark J was. I only learned they and someone else made the clip days after I posted it, so I changed the credit. Why did you see this clip and think you needed to post it? Why didn't you, why is he trying so hard to downplay this? He's completely skirting around the fact that he made a mistake. He kind of did wrong by this small creator. It really isn't that serious, but he keeps thrashing around like it was that serious. So Matt continues and says, despite Dark J's false claims of my positions, I have quite vocally argued for years that using clips of other people's content in a transformational way is okay, even without credit, in fact, as I believe credit is more an act of kindness and respect than anything else, which is why I give him credit in this case. Everything Dark J said publicly about my stances is false. You can tell my usage was transformational because when he sent me the DM, I removed the original short. I then recorded the exact same stunt myself, now on much higher quality, then uploaded it with some subtitles, music and narration I used 3 years ago. The clip got 6 million views in a week. Okay. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. Like, this is all just kind of washing over me at this point because he just keeps going. He's like thrashing around, trying not to actually acknowledging what he did wrong. This doesn't read really as anything other than an honest mistake. So I'm not understanding why he's getting mad about this criticism. Like, if he's getting criticized for the wrong reasons, he should be coming at this a little bit more earnestly. I'm gonna assume he just has like severe PTSD from the last few times he said stupid shit and made a big deal about nothing, but this is not how you respond if you made an honest mistake. So he goes on to point out how important he is. He says his channel gets 50 million shorts views in a month, uploading stage 90 plus shorts a month. My channel has 2 billion views, and this is the only clip on my entire channel I didn't record myself. I'm gonna press X to doubt on that. I think that would be odd that you would only choose to do this guy's shit and not other people's. Maybe he's the only guy you credited, but that doesn't sound accurate to me. I clearly don't care about one short, so why did I post it? I mean, if you didn't care, you wouldn't be shitting yourself about it. It was a 480p window clip on a speedrun Discord I thought no one would ever see. It was not some fucking mastermind plot for $1,000 like Dark Stunter is claiming. I just did a giveaway where I literally gave away $10,000. I'm not exactly starved for cash. Dark isn't saying that because he uploaded this clip he made 1,500 euros. He's saying that he's a little upset that you got to monetize his clip and made ad revenue off of it while he's not even credited for it anymore. You're profiting off of his work, something that you have said more than once is a bad thing to do when you're not being transformative and you're not crediting the creators. Like, the whole I don't think you have to credit the original creator thing is so cringy. Like saying I do it out of respect and kindness. If I don't respect you, I'm not gonna credit you. Matt, just edit the comment. That's all he wanted you to do. That's like there's so many ways this could have gone, and he chose the worst possible way. Like, he's going to get shit for the next week minimum, if not the next several weeks. All because this is how he responded to one very earnest DM from this guy who said he liked your content. I can't imagine a more friendly interaction attempt when dealing with somebody who you think stole your content. So let's continue. Within his DM, Dark J not only falsely accusing me of stealing his clip, but he further suggests I snubbed him by 180ing on stunt content. That's not what he said. He believes this because I didn't remember that he DM'd me 2 years prior to my posting of the clip, which is now 5 years ago, by the way. His DM was about stunting, and I replied something to the effect of, I am not interested in stunting, but thanks for reaching out. I obviously still have no interest in stunting. I only posted the clip because it was a speedrun strat from a speedrunning Discord. He didn't say you 180'd on stunt content. What he's saying is you uploaded the clip without permission after he had offered to help you by sending him recorded content, and you told him you didn't want content from other people. The 180 he's talking about is using Dark's content after you explicitly declined to use Dark's content. He's talking about people being psychotic and delusional, but he's over here completely misrepresenting what was being said. He's twisted it around to justify why he's not in the wrong, but that's only doubling down on the fact that you fucked up, big dog. Can you imagine how psychotic his claim would sound out of the blue? I receive 100 DMs a day. A random stranger comes out of nowhere and says, why didn't you remember that I DM'd you 2 years prior to uploading that clip 3 years ago? The DM he sent me seemed to flip-flop between loving me and suggesting I was out to murder his family. I didn't know what to make of it, and I am just tired of arguing with people. I'm not seeing where he's suggesting that Dark Viper was being like a massive monster. When he politely confronted you, he said that you threw a tantrum, blocked him, and banned him from your Discord, and then dropped this angry response and then edited it so that you thinking he wouldn't see it. I'm not seeing in there where he's saying that you're harassing his family or himself. You tried to silence this dude and cut him out of your community because you didn't want to catch heat for being a dick, when again, all you had to do to fix this would have just been editing the comment, and then you could have made your own version and uploaded it and it would have been fine. Instead, you decided to write this essay about how you're not wrong and you're the victim, actually. So the end of this statement is, I wrote all this information to him, but thought, no, I best not engage. So I deleted it and changed my response to, I have privated the short, never contacted me for any reason. And I blocked the stranger as I block all the people who send me insane DMs each day. This is just something expected as part of my job. To quote Dark J from the DM, I really like you and your content. If he was sincere, I didn't want to say to him I didn't know him. I didn't want to tell him that, and I didn't remember his DM. I didn't want to tell him I didn't even know he made the clip. I didn't want to tell him I don't care about stunting. What's happening right now? It's like I'm reading a play. I thought I was being kind, and by just removing the clip because it was causing him concern, I now have this entire thread of false information from a random stranger that is being spammed at under all my posts by psychos. All because I wanted to avoid drama and protect the feelings of a stranger. Leave me alone, you absolute weirdos. I'm going to bed. I expect to see that apology. Hell, an apology from the entire fucking GTA 5 stunting community when I wake up. The fact that you're sitting here not actually engaging with what was said says to me that you're just mad you got caught. This was not a big issue, but seeing how dramatically you responded to this, and then finding out that this response you sent originally got edited to just say, don't contact me, I removed the clip. That's psychotic. You're sitting here and claiming that all you did was say, I removed it, don't talk to me. And then you ban and block him and try and cut him out of everything when all he did was send the sincere response. Like, were you sleep deprived? Were you drunk? Were you high? What were you doing that you thought that this was a rational reaction to this guy saying, hey, I'm not really happy that you stopped crediting me for this clip you took after you said you weren't gonna take any clips from me. You know, the 14 pages guy turning around and doing this to a small creator, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this picture? And so if you look at his page, it's a lot of his socials right now. It's a lot of criticism. It's a lot of going after him and saying, hey, you're a fucking moron, which he rightfully deserves, because who the fuck would write something like this and think this wasn't completely irrational? But aside from that, he posted this 2 hours ago, and then 1 hour later, he added, this is why creators my size close their DMs and talk to no one. This is why everyone has to walk around as if on eggshells. You have no idea when someone from even years ago is going to go psycho and invent bullshit in their heads and shove it on social media. Yeah, so this isn't going over well, and I can't imagine it's gonna get any better with time, but all this stuff being pointed out by Dark Stunter is valid criticism, and there's this huge thread that Stunter posted, so I'm going to link it below if you want to dive into it. I may do a follow-up video dissecting Dark's point of view, but I just wanted to point out this insane essay that he dropped because I could not fathom why in God's name this was his reaction. And when you have somebody like Dark who is providing screenshots, who is providing context, who is showing all these things, and all you're doing is saying, I have a vague memory of maybe talking with somebody 3 years ago, and they were happy with it, and they commented under the video, it's like, what are you doing, actually? What did you expect was going to happen? When your response is just, I'm the victim, how dare you all be attacking me? This is why we don't talk to anyone. I didn't do anything wrong, and this person is a psycho for accusing me of these things. I don't think he's mentally well. I mean, we knew that because we know he doesn't have any friends, but this was just really sad to read and really frustrating from somebody who claimed to be this champion of creator rights and being super anti-plagiarism and credit the creators. Seeing how he's responding to somebody pointing out that he might have done something wrong, even if it was an accident, he can't accept that he might have fucked up. He just won't do anything about it except cry and scream and thrash around. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to read this response and just see what you guys thought about Dark Viper once again getting himself involved in a losing battle. But yeah, that's all I had to say about it. So I'll see you guys in the next video.